Another great name. Everlastyn Lattimore is coming up to introduce our next honoree tonight. Everlastyn. Speech better not be everlasting, by the way. All right, handsome.
Thank you, Mr. Como. Thank you, everyone. It's true, I do love to perform in plays and be on stage, and that's something I have in common with tonight's honoree, Mr. Hank Azaria, whom I have the pleasure to introduce. But Turnaround is not honoring Mr. Azaria for his Tony-nominated performance as Sir Lancelot in Spamalot, nor for his 4 Emmy Awards for his role in Tuesdays with Morrie, and outstanding voiceovers on The Simpsons. My favorite is Apu. And Turnaround is not honoring him for his latest role as FBI Division Head Edward Cochran on Showtime Ray Donovan, or even for his documentary web series Fatherhood, where you can see him figuring out how to be the best that he can be. We all honor Mr. Azaria tonight because he helped found Determined to Succeed. Determined to Succeed find motivated middle school students whose family don't have a lot of money and give them year-round academic enrichment, support, and resources to help them be successful in school and in college. When Determined to Succeed started in Los Angeles a decade ago with 12 students, its goal was 100% college enrollment and graduation. Well, all 12 of those students are now college sophomores. How did they get there? With determination, hard work, and support at home, but also because Determined to Succeed provided them with summer programs, tutoring, mentoring, field trips, and internships. Those 12 kids and 80 more in middle and high school are getting the academic resources all parents would want for their children. And the students in college get scholarships, assistance with textbooks, and travel, and a weekly call from a college coordinator too. Without Hank Azaria's support, Determined to Succeed might never have gotten off the ground, much less thrive. The students in Determined to Succeed goes above and beyond to be successful, and Hank Azaria goes above and beyond to help them achieve their dream of a college education, which just happens to be one of my dreams too. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in honoring Mr. Hank Azaria.
Nice job. That was great. Thank you. Everlastyn Lattimore, ladies and gentlemen. If someone with that name can't make it in show business, I don't know who can. I promise to be quick. First of all, is it in New York? Were we supposed to wear black tonight, or is this a New York thing? I feel like the LA bumpkin in my blue suit. Is it just... All right, I just moved back here in the summer. I'm sure I'll catch on. At the next event, I'll be in black, I promise. I really am honored to be here. People say they're humbled, but I really am humbled. I'm very excited to be in a room full of people who care as much or more about education as I do, than I do. I'll just tell you quickly how Determined to Succeed started in Los Angeles 8 years ago. I had an assistant working for me, a woman I love, a woman named Sarah Hahn. She was going to leave my employ to go be a school teacher in the LAUSD, in the LA school system. And I said, please don't go. And she said, no, it's my dream. I want to be an educator. I want to teach kids. And I, like an evil Hollywood jerk, I said, listen, whenever they're going to pay you, I'll double it. Don't go. She said, no, I insist. I really want to do this. A year later, she came back to me after working just 1 year in the LAUSD teaching fifth grade. She said, it's a disaster. It's a disaster. And she had just organically found about a dozen kids that, for some reason that she couldn't figure out, wanted their education valued it, wanted to learn. They weren't star performers. They weren't academically gifted. They just, you've heard a lot, very eloquently, Pam spoke tonight about the environments these kids are in. In that environment, there were these kids that just valued their education and wanted to learn. I found this very moving because I'm someone who grew up with a lovely and privileged education, and I excelled in it, and I really took it for granted. I didn't even think about it until I was an adult and realized how enriched my life was as a result. All she did was mentor and tutor these kids and keep them off the streets in the summertime, because she noticed that these are, we use the term a lot, at-risk kids who want to learn, are determined to succeed, but will fall through the cracks unless they get some help. And what Turnaround does is try to change the environment they're in, which is amazing. I admire it. We kind of cheat. We say, look, we're not going to take that on. For some reason, in these very difficult environments, these kids somehow miraculously want to learn and value their education. We have teachers identify to us who these kids are who are willing to work. And we, you know, one of our partners says we become the overprotective Jewish parents that they don't get to have. And that's, you know, and we are. We see them through their middle school and high school years. And it's not rocket surgery, as we say, that we identify whatever tutoring they might need. As far as mentoring goes, you know, one example, this kid Lizardo Reyes, who was one of the first kids we had in, he stopped showing up at school one day. And we said, well, what's going on? And usually his older brother would wake him up. And he stopped doing it because his older brother had entered a gang and started staying out late. And Sarah said to him, well, get an alarm clock. And he literally didn't, that was a concept that was foreign to him, an alarm clock. She took him about a $5 alarm clock and taught him how to set it. And he started showing up for school again. It was literally that simple in that moment. It gets a lot more complicated than that at times. But we provide, at first we just had summer programs that just kept the kids off the streets, but now it enriches their learning and their education. And we started out with a dozen kids. Like Everlastyn said, we have a 100% acceptance rate into college. The last thing I'll say is that, you know, we thought our work was going to be done once they got into school, but we found that once they were, our first group of kids are now sophomores, and we needed to kind of step up our support for their first year in college because, as probably a lot of you know, even though they ended up excelling in their public schools, they were really not prepared for their college environments. So there's a lot of work still to be done, but of course, and that's a lot why we're here. That's why we're here tonight. But I'm truly honored to be here and be part of this. Thank you to Pam Cantor and everybody here. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thanks, Everlastyn. Thank you, buddy. Nice job on your speech. Really nice job. Thank you. Look at that. All right.